Hey folks, the Legend of Zelda series is packed with tons of fascinating locations, whether that be drawn from their beauty and jaw-dropping sights, or be from their mystery and enchanting history. This fantasy adventure has it all, from the dark depths of the royal family's murderous secret, the Shadow Temple, or the breathtaking sight of the Great Sky Islands catching the morning sunrise. There are hundreds of locations to visit across each and every Zelda game. However, there are some that we cannot visit. Forbidden, hidden, and God-forbidden lands that we as the player cannot access, though we do know they exist. Sometimes these are locations that we can see right in front of us, but just cannot enter. Others are lands that we know exist afar from our location, but we have no way to reach them. In today's video, I want to take a look at some of the Zelda series' most fascinating locations that, as the player, we cannot visit. Be sure to go and grab yourself a snack and drink, folks. Send a photo of you watching with your fire snacks and first quenching drinks for a chance to be featured right here in a video. Make sure to drop a wee like down below, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into this one. In The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, we enter another realm, accessed through the long lost but now repaired Mirror of Twilight. Link alongside Midna venture into the unknown, the Twilight Realm. A once prospering kingdom of its own, somewhere that Midna knows too well. We explore the Palace of Twilight, the home of Twilight royalty, and some of the civilians of the realm. It's a pretty damn cool location to explore, far from Hyrule in a completely different realm. We learn some seriously cool lore about the history of this place, Ganondorf's time spent here, and even battle against the false king of Twilight, Zant, the one who stole the throne from our companion Midna, the true Twilight Princess. So what exactly can we not explore here? Well, being a parallel realm to the world Hyrule is found in, you'd be right to expect a bit more than just a palace through here. But where is the rest of the traversable realm? Well, much like my self-confidence in public, it's not here for us to explore or even see. However, in the almighty reliable Hyrule Historia book, we find concept art of a Twili Town, a proper settlement out with the home of the royalty and the palace, with its own unique architecture and people. This is just concept art though, but you see, there's a very good chance that this was close to being in the game as an explorable area. You see, towards the end of Twilight Princess, development things were becoming a little rushed. Decisions were being made on unfinished areas that would or wouldn't make the final cut. The intro of the game was completely reworked late on into development as well, meaning lots of bits and pieces, including locations, were cut from the final game. Now, this is normal, but in this case, it affects the Twilight Realm. And given how late into the game we explore the Twilight Realm, it's not far-fetched to guess that the Twilight Town was one of the cut contents. This makes even more sense when you consider that this Twilight Realm is built up for the entirety of the game. The whole plot stems from this otherly world that we'll eventually get to explore. But once we do travel through dimensions to the Twilight Realm, we find only the palace. Nothing more. We can't even see distant islands of similar size when we look out. When you consider all of that context, it feels like there was meant to be more here. Take that all with a grain of salt, of course. But if you think about this in terms of the in-game universe, the lore of this world, there probably are towns and villages out there, far into the distant darkness. Perhaps due to the fall of the true leader Midna and the rise of the false King Zant, that the lands became more and more separated due to the conflict and downfall of the Twilight Realm. This realm is also considered the dark to the light, so you'd expect that to be in proportion to each side. Unfortunately, we just don't get to explore more of this mysterious realm. There's undoubtedly more out there. It's a shame, because it would have been really awesome to see the state of how the Twilight residents are under the rule of Zant, possibly even helping them out, as this concept art makes it out as if things might have been a little rough. It's likely that these towns are out there, somewhere in the void of darkness. But unfortunately, we just cannot explore enough to even reach these outer Twilight Realm locations. Moving to a more recent Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and also Tears of the Kingdom as it picked up the sloppy seconds and reused the world, has a massive area that we cannot explore. We can see it, in fact we can see a lot of it, but there is simply just no way to explore this location. That is, the fields beyond the cliffs. Or more so, what lies beyond them. I've made a few good videos about these cliffs in the past, as well as the distant islands out at sea and some other potential areas that could have more in the distance across this version of Hyrule. So for old time's sake, let's milk this location another time, like we're living out our Lon Lon Ranch fantasy. Bit funny that one, mate. Anyway, what lies beyond these cliffs? Deep dark dungeons for us to explore and uncover untouched evil. Perhaps monsters and creatures not native to Hyrule. Well, the truth is that we don't know exactly, but we do know that the chances are that there's at least more civilization, from towns and villages dotted across to possibly larger settlements akin to Castletown. We don't know how it looks out there in this vast open plain, but what we do know is that there are familiar faces from Breath of the Wild that went away in Tears of the Kingdom. Most notably, Cass, the Rito Bard who was quite a key figure throughout the story of Breath of the Wild, but come Tears of the Kingdom and he's just gone. His family aren't exactly worried about his lack of presence, so presumably they know where he's off to, quite possibly to somewhere out beyond these cliffs. We also hear through the Zora royalty that Yona is from a different domain. A completely different line of Zora royalty, which once again means there is more beyond this map. There are other characters that we don't know their origins, and it could all link to whatever lies beyond the cliffs of Hyrule, as well as out beyond sea. These mysterious locations that obviously exist, we just can't explore them, are quite fascinating to me. I'm curious to know what life beyond Hyrule is like. Are customs and cultures similar, or is life out here lived dramatically different? We don't know, and probably never will. Wherever Cass is gone and wherever Yona is from is out there, but it remains unseen to us as the player. And finally, the third and final location that you cannot visit but technically see in Zelda games is beyond the Great Sea. Now, this may seem like an obvious statement, as the Great Sea seen in The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker is part of the entire ocean. Theoretically, yeah, you could just keep sailing, but obviously within a video game there are limitations. The Great Sea as it is already pretty big, especially for a GameCube game. But in theory, if we could just keep sailing around the world, what would we find? Well, we know that there is definitely large areas of land out there, as The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, the following game in the timeline, directly follows Wind Waker. Instead of continuing to explore the water, the gang decided to venture land, and eventually discover New Hyrule, a completely separate and brand new kingdom to the one we last knew in the days of Ocarina of Time, 2 games prior in the Zelda timeline. If we compare the game world to our own, then there's almost certainly got to be more out there, from northern and southern poles, possibly filled with ice enemies and dungeons, tropical parts of the world much like the Caribbean. Just imagine Link cruising about the sea like Captain Jack Sparrow, or even in colder seas like the North Sea and surrounding waters in real life. Link becoming friends with big Vikings and fighting off sea serpents. It's a massively theoretical question, but there undoubtedly is more out there. It's just a question of what exactly is unseen that we cannot visit. From a variety of seas to other land masses with their own unique people, cultures, creatures, food, vegetation, and so on. It's a big wide world. All 3 of these unseen lands and locations of the Zelda series are incredibly interesting to me, as the chances of us ever actually getting to explore and see them are pretty low. But they exist, and their existence is a canon part of these worlds, one that we will sadly just never see. But what do you think is out there and lies beyond these locations that we'll never explore? Leave a comment down below and let me know all of your thoughts. I look forward to reading and replying to many of you lovely folks. Thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed, then dropping a wee like down below would be massively appreciated, as well as considering to subscribe to my channel for lots more fabulous Zelda content coming your way. I hope you enjoyed watching, and maybe learnt an interesting thing or two. As I said, be sure to let me know in the comments any other restricted locations that come to mind that you find fascinating to ponder on, but yet cannot explore. A massive thank you goes to my wonderful channel supporters across Patreon and YouTube memberships. Your support is a huge part of making these videos possible, and I cannot thank you enough for financially supporting my work here. If you'd like to be a part of making this all the more possible, whilst getting access to goodies such as my inside scoop posts, a shout out upon joining, and your name at the end of my videos, then check out the supporting links down in the description. Also down there you can find links to my Twitter, Instagram and Discord server. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, folks, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.